Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you two ways to replace the front wheel bearing, an easy way and a hard way. The procedure is pretty much the same with all the XMs, Xantias and BXCs, and even with the chubby C5. Because Citroëns have a really powerful handbrake, you don't need to put the car back on its wheels to get the hub nut loose. If the drive shaft is stuck, undo the nut until it's level with the end of the CV joint and give it a few gentle taps with a hammer. Even though I usually use only hand tools, I like to remove all the ball joint nuts with air tools, because that way they usually come off easier. To remove the ball joint, I use this ball joint separator, and I use the largest one I can, because the smaller ones, or with the ball joint fork, it's really easy to break the boot of the ball joint. Lucky for me, these have been off so recently that they weren't stuck. To detach the hub nut carrier from the lower arm, I like to use a digging bar. And now you should be able to slide the drive shaft out. As you can hear, this bearing is shut. A set of pliers like these are really helpful when removing the handbrake cable. Because I have a piece of rubber pipe protecting the cable, I can't slide it out, so I have to remove the whole bracket. The brake caliper assembly is held in place by two bolts. Remove the brake caliper and place it somewhere where it doesn't stretch the brake hose. Now the ABS sensor can be disconnected. I'm also going to remove the ABS sensor, because I know that it's not stuck and that way I'm not risking breaking it. Remove the brake disc, and if your brake disc screws are stuck, drill them out. Now we can remove the hub carrier, and that is held in place by this bolt. After the bolt is removed, the manual says to tap a 8mm Allen key between the jaws, but I'm using this poking thingy. You could mark the position of the carrier, but I'm not going to bother since my hydraulic ram is so dirty it tells me exactly how it was positioned. Yeah, try not to hit yourself. And now, believe it or not, getting this circlip out was the hardest part, and I'm not gonna lie, it took me something like 20 minutes. My method of attack is to clean the area from the rust, give it some heat, and just beat it. I had to speed things up quite a bit because otherwise this would have been as long as a Vraida Kalle Päätalo's Iijoki series. That said, I think showing struggles like these with the circlip and how to overcome them are helpful in a long run for some of you. It moved.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
Okay, let's continue fighting. I can quite confidently say that I have done quite a few wheel bearings in my life and I have never had a circlip this stuck. And now it's time to remove the wheel hub. Take a sacrificial socket that fits and beat the hub out. bash the rest of the bearings out. Next, run a long bead with a welder to the outer bearing race. It helps a lot, believe me. Now this should have been the hardest part, removal of the outer bearing race. Take a bigger sacrificial socket and go full berserker. I ended up beating it out off camera, but you got the idea. To remove the inner bearing race you could use a special bearing puller, but you can get it off by grinding it down with an angle grinder. Now try not to cut into the hub itself, but it doesn't really matter if you slightly touch it. Throw the hub in the snow and take the new bearing from the freezer. You can drive the new bearing in with a vise and use the old outer bearing race as a protector and spacer if you do so. The same idea can be seen when I do the next bearing with a hydraulic press. But since I have this wheel bearing tool, I might as well use it. Oh, and about that tool. This tool is from Biltema, and I'd say it's good for most of the regular vehicles. But for some reason, at least older cars made by PSA have laughably heavy-duty wheel bearings, and this set is ever so slightly too small. And if you are wondering why I like to freeze bearings or hubs, the answer is really simple. Cold shrinks, heat spreads. Insert the new circlip. You can press the hub in with a vise, as I demonstrate here, but difference being that you need to have a support for the inner bearing race, otherwise it will pop out. I'm also using this special tool to install the hub. This was how you can replace the bearing hard way, and next I show you the easier way with the hydraulic press. The most important thing when using hydraulic press is to get the part in level, and sometimes you have to get creative with that. Otherwise this is really straightforward. Use a socket of your choice and drive the hub out. I like to keep old wheel bearings around because they are really great spacers when pressing out the old bearings. The one I'm using used to belong to an Alpha 156. Okay, it's not going anymore, so something must have got caught. It turned out to be a seal from the old bearing. Now would you believe that it's going much easier without that binding seal? And now we can press in the new bearing fresh from the freezer. This time I'm using bearing made by IJS Group because it was made in Spain and not in China like almost everything these days. Same thing here with the hub. If you listen carefully, you can hear when the bearing race cracks.
Noin. Kuulitko?
Again, I made a small mark in the hub, but it will be okay. Insert the new circlip with a liberal amount of grease. The last thing to drive in is the hub, and as I said earlier, support the backside of the bearing with something. For example, I'm using all the inner bearing race. And we're done. Notice that I have also drilled and tapped new brake disc holders. As usual, everything goes back as Heinz says. This is why I didn't bother to mark the position of the hub carrier before. As you can see, the old dirt shows really well where it should go. As I continue painting with copper grease like Bob Ross, I leave here all the torque specs that you need. Thanks for watching and Happy New Year!